If you were to pause the stream of thinking again and again, what you would start to notice is that you are not a separate object within experience, aka the body, in relation to an outside world. Thought creates a constant sense of subject-object. The primary thought is the I thought, the thought that arises as I. And when there is I, this also creates the sense of others, of other objects, other things, other people. And in order to keep this subject-object relationship going, this sense of separation going, this sense of limitation going, thought needs to continue and just be constant. And within this stream, this constant stream of thought, lies the seed of separation. So why can't I stop thinking? If you were to stop thinking and continue to pause the stream of thought, it would start to kind of break down this illusion of separation. The ego, which is the primary thought, the thought that imagines that it is this separate object, this body. The ego requires a constant stream of thought in order to maintain its existence. Notice how this constant stream of thought is always about past, always about what is, and then about what the future will be. So this one, in order to maintain its existence as a separate entity, needs constant thoughts of past memories, right? Constant interpretation of what is in the now, and constant projection of the future. And through it, it fuels its own existence. It fuels its own sense of, I am a separate individual, a separate entity, separate from the rest of the world, a world which exists independent of me and outside of me. So the reason that many of us are stuck in incessant thinking is because we are entirely an object referral, meaning we are conditioned as separate objects within experience, within awareness, you can say. Within awareness, there's this entire experience, and the body is just one of those experiences. It is, you can say, the most intimate experience. And thought imagines that what I am is this body, is this limited little image on a screen of images. I'm part of the movie. I'm part of the painting. And for this one to maintain its sense of limitation, its sense of separation, thought is needed. And on the other hand, in order for what you really are to know itself, rather than what it believes itself to be through thought, the thought needs to be paused again and again. Because once you start to pause the stream of thinking, right, you start to see that I still am. Because previously, with constant thought activity, you almost derive a sense of identity from it. There's a sense of security from it and a sense of aliveness from it, that because I need to constantly think in order to survive. I need to constantly think in order to have a pleasant life and to figure out my future and to make sure that I'm okay in this world. Whereas once you start to create gaps within the stream of thought, you start to recognize that even when thought is not present, I still am. And so this entire new realm of what is beyond thought, prior to it, starts to open up to you. And you start to now come back to the correct view of experience. Rather than imagining yourself as just a separate object within experience, with a world of separateness, now you start to know yourself as the awareness within which all of this experience is occurring. And rather than contracting yourself into one experience or one thing within experience, you start to know yourself as the awareness within which all of this is unfolding. The more we are in thought, thought is always imagining itself to be this or that. Thought says, I am this, I am that. I am doing this, I am thinking this. And thought is always constantly associating with other objects, other things, other people. Because the more that there is an other, there is other things, other people, other experiences, the more that this sense of me, the sense of an individual me, can be fueled. And in previous videos, I've also said that the more you think, the more this sense of separation increases. And the more that this sense of separation increases, the more that's what you register as fear. Fear is a sense of separation and a sense of being separate from all that is. The greater you feel this separation, the more fearful and the more anxious you become. Which is why the ultimate cure for that is to disengage from thoughts, to access this gap within thoughts, which is that natural silence, that natural beingness, which is there with or without thought. The more you do so, the more this thought activity starts to calm down, right? Because one can't, you can't do both. You can either be aware fully of the gap and be in that space, or you can be fully identified with thought. The stillness of thought is a knowing of awareness, because thought itself is an activity of awareness. Right? So awareness, a knowing of awareness is already a still mind, which is why you'll recognize that in those gaps of just being, thought doesn't arise. And you just know yourself as you are. And now this sense of constant separation, because in that gap, what you'll notice is that there's no me and other. There is just emness, beingness. And the more you start to allow yourself this experience, this recognition, the more you start to know yourself as that presence, that awareness, which is always present, within which this entire play of opposites and separateness is playing out, including the experience of I am this body. So know that the ego, this separate entity that claims to be a separate entity, right? It needs constant thought. And until you continue to be addicted to this thinking and constantly feed these thoughts with your energy and attention, it will continue to just perpetuate itself. And your experience will be colored by this sense of separation. But the more you start to become quiet within, the more silent you become within, the more you will wake up to your true nature as the awareness within which all of this is unfolding. This is also what meditation is. Meditation is a knowing of yourself as this awareness. Meditation is a relaxing of what you believe yourself to be, to recognize what you already are, what you essentially truly are. So allow yourself the space Allow yourself the room for this thoughtless being. That's why anybody that ever works with me, I always mention to them that meditation, self-inquiry, it's not just something you do every single day. It's actually the most important thing that you're doing every single day. Ultimately, it is a not doing. It is a relaxation from doing, in which you realize what you really are. You must give yourself the opportunity to explore this.